We are here today where in the U.S. We are talking about human trafficking, and it is modern day slavery. And it exists in Atlanta, and it exists in D.C., and it exists in Dayton, Ohio, where I'm from. And I think this conference is just a true testament to showing one person's passion about driving awareness that led me to get involved for the last 2 years, to coming to Womenetics and talking about it, last year, to Elizabeth taking it on as a topic to discuss this year. So it's just been an amazing journey that really started with one single person, and it really just demonstrates how one person can make a difference.
The Womenetics conference is one of the first times that I've seen an organization bring together the key players, not just experts on trafficking, but they've brought experts on trafficking, they've brought business leaders that are focused on solutions for trafficking, they've brought government leaders all together, and they're presenting a holistic solution to a population that can really change the landscape. We know that governments won't change unless they're embarrassed into changing. And the conversations can take place in the halls of government or in academic conferences, but until people start having those conversations in their communities, in the shopping malls, in their churches, no real change will take place. And I think that Womenetics offers us a unique opportunity to bring that conversation to light and to continue it with the public.
This particular conference, I think, is very important, and I'm very happy that I am a part of it and that my company is supporting the conference as well, because I think that we can put a major dent in it and hopefully one day totally eradicate it if people are aware. And I think that's the biggest problem, simply not being aware of how large this problem really is.
Womenetics conference is an amazing program that they're putting together by bringing all these experts in diversity, business leaders, nonprofits, and groups that we can collaborate together, making this a much better place for human trafficking victims. I am thrilled to be here. I really feel so blessed by it.
It's important because we need to create awareness regarding the second largest crime in the world today after drugs, namely child prostitution and child trafficking. So any initiatives like this one is very important, and I'm so pleased that I was made aware of it and was invited to come and speak about what we do in our company, Carlson.
Every big corporation has modern-day slaves in their supply chain, and many employees in every company go out, mostly men, and hire women. If we could reduce those two things, we'd make a huge contribution to improving the state of the world. So we set out on a mission to influence those things, and as president of the company, I take it as my personal mission to do that.
I am so excited to be part of Womenetics because as I work around the globe on stopping war or on stopping the demand for sex trafficking and prostitution, or raising women's numbers in parliaments and in the U.S. Congress, what I've found is that women as a group are much more powerful than as individuals.
The convening power of a conference like this, where essentially a mission-led organization led by women that wants to do something different, special, and make a change, the power of that's amazing. I mean, one of the most underutilized assets in the world are women.
I am really honored to be at this conference. I think that it is an important thing to bring together the change makers of Atlanta and abroad to have this conversation about how we can impact women across the globe and bring positive change to their life.
I think that we know by definition now that investing in women creates benefits. Creates benefits not just for the individual women themselves, but for their families and for the communities around them.
Organizations like Womenetics are taking the principles that you've developed in the US and going, how can we network this, not just for Atlanta, not just for the US, how can we do something very special internationally and globally, using the power of what we've learned in the US to leverage And that's what they're doing here. It's an amazing concept.
I think personally that we're actually learning to do stuff in places like Afghanistan that is going to allow us to address some of the challenges that women are facing in places like Detroit. Because if we can get a woman earning an income, sending her kids to school, taking care of her health, and investing in her community in a place like Afghanistan, I'm pretty sure we can do it here.
It's soul-stirring to see the work of an organization like Womenetics and the possibility for change. And it's not just change that will affect the lives of women. It's not just change that will affect the lives of girls. It will affect the lives of all children, and frankly, it will affect the lives of the men.
I think this Womenetics conference is a great idea, especially the way that it's set up. The women's empowerment is really the crown of it all.
Well, I think that, you know, if we are people who say that we are for a world that has all its people empowered, if we say that we're for a world that is fully developed economically, socially, and politically, that we have to pay particular attention to the issues facing women around the world. That our world will never be the fully wonderful world it can be until women are able to be the fully wonderful people they are wherever they happen to be born.
If a woman earns money in the developing countries, she's reinvesting 90% of her income in her families compared to a man who's going to reinvest 30 to 40%. So it's kind of a no-brainer. We should absolutely be investing as much as we possibly can in women, helping them to foster growth in their families, in their communities, send their kids to school, be well, and be active participants.
I think the mission of Womenetics is incredibly powerful and necessary for today, because it will determine how we shape the future for women and girls. And we will do that by making sure that we extraordinarily inform, educate, excite, and ignite the imaginations of men and women about the power that is yet to be unleashed in the world by 51% of the population.